unit in geography, which is Hydrologic Cycle. Synopsis of the lesson. In this session, we are going to see the following topics. The first one is introduction part. Then we are going to see water on the earth, estimated volume of water on the earth's surface. Then we are going to see hydrologic cycle or water cycle. Next we are going to see evapotranspiration. Under this we have evaporation and transpiration. Students, let's start the lesson. Hydrologic cycle. Water is one of the most important elements on earth. So, water is one of the most important elements on earth, without which life can't exist. All plants and animals need water for survival. Not only plants and animals, we human beings also need water for survival. Then, apart from drinking purpose, water is required for domestic purpose, agricultural purpose and industrial purpose. So, apart from drinking, water is essential for washing your dishes, cleaning and all household works, and for agricultural purpose and also for industrial purpose. So students, water is very essential for carrying out almost all economic activities. So every economic activity depends on water. Then water is an indispensable element without which life form on the earth is not possible. So water is an indispensable. Here indispensable means it is a unavoidable element, or it is very essential or necessary element without which life can't exist on the earth. So these are all the uses of water. Next, let's see about water on the earth. Students, as we all know, Earth is called as blue planet. So why it is called as blue planet means about 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. About 71% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. Hence, Earth is called blue planet. Then, the quantity of water present on the Earth is about 326 million cubic miles. So, the quantity of water present on the earth is about 326 million cubic miles. So, students, it is very hard to visualize such a massive quantity of water over the earth. So, hence, earth is called blue planet. Most of the water on the earth is saline and is found in seas and oceans. So, most of the water on the earth is salt water and it is found in seas and oceans. Now, let's see the percentage of salt water and fresh water. The salt water constitutes about 97.2%. So the salt water constitutes about 97.2%. Then the fresh water is only about 2.8%. So the fresh water is only about 2.8%. That's why we have seen that most of the water on the earth is salt water, because the salt water constitutes more, that is 97.2%, whereas the fresh water constitutes only 2.8%. So out of this 2.8% of the fresh water, about 2.2% is available as surface water. Here, surface water refers to lakes, rivers, ponds. These all comes under surface water, and the remaining 0.6% as groundwater. From this 2.2% of surface water, 2.15% is available in the form of glaciers and ice caps. So, from this 2.2% of surface water, 2.15% is available in the form of glaciers and ice caps, and the remaining 0.01% of water in lakes and streams. So, the remaining 0.01% is found in lakes and streams, and the remaining 0.04% is in other forms. So, the remaining 0.04% is in other forms. Then, only about 0.25% of the total groundwater of 0.6% can be economically extracted with the present drilling technology. So, we have seen that the groundwater constitutes 0.25%. So, in this 0.25%, only 0.6% of water can be extracted by using the drilling technology. So, students, I hope you are clear with the composition of water on Earth. Water resources are useful or potentially useful to humans. So, students, we have seen that water is an indispensable element, that is, an unavoidable element or essential element without which life can't exist on Earth. Now, let's see how we are getting water. So, what are the sources from which the water is available on Earth? So, water is available in the form of precipitation. So, the first source is precipitation. Then, the second source is surface water. So, water is available in the form of surface water. And the third one is groundwater. So, these are all the three sources. First one is precipitation, second one is surface water, and the third one is groundwater. Next, we are going to see estimated volume of water on the Earth's surface. So, this is an approximate estimation about the volume of water on the Earth's surface. So, this tabular column is provided in your textbook. So, students, you can take a look at it. First, they have given data for oceans, seas and bays. Then they have given for ice caps, glaciers and permanent snow. Then they have given for groundwater, soil moisture, ground ice and permafrost. Then for lakes, atmosphere, swamp water, rivers. Then finally they have given for biological water. This is an approximate estimation about the volume of water on the Earth's surface. Next, we are going to learn about hydrologic cycle or water cycle. So now we are going to see what is the definition of hydrologic cycle and what are the phases involved in the water cycle. First, let's see what is hydrology. Hydrology is the science which deals with the various aspects of water, such as its occurrence, distribution, movement, and properties on the planet Earth. So, hydro means water. Hydrology means it is the science which deals with the various aspects of water, such as its occurrence, distribution, movement, and properties on the planet Earth. Availability of water on the Earth is not uniform. So, availability of water on the Earth is not uniform means in some places there will be more water resources when compared to other place. So, this is the meaning of this sentence. So, availability of water on the Earth is not uniform because in some places it has a very rich water resources and in some other places have poor water resources. Next, we are going to learn about definition of hydrologic cycle. Hydrologic cycle is a global, sun-driven process where water is transported from oceans to atmosphere, from atmosphere to land, and from land back to oceans. So, what is the definition of hydrologic cycle? Hydrologic cycle is a global, sun-driven process where water is transported from oceans to atmosphere, then from atmosphere to land, and from land back to oceans. Then the water cycle can be considered as a closed system for the Earth as the quantity of water involved in the cycle is invariable, though its distribution varies over space and time. So, the water cycle is a closed system and the quantity of water involved in the cycle is invariable. So, we can't predict the quantity of water involved in the water cycle. So, it is the closed system. Next, we are going to learn about evaporation. Evaporation takes place from the surface water. So, the water on the surface gets heated up by the sun and it will get evaporated. So, it takes place from the surface water. Then, let's see about transpiration. Transpiration from the plants. So, transpiration takes place in plants. So, water from the plants, it will get evaporated. So, that is called transpiration. Water vapor gets condensed at higher altitudes by condensation nuclei and form clouds resulting in droplet growth. So, water vapor which gets evaporated, it will cools down, that is called condensation in the form of clouds. So, it will cools down and it will form clouds resulting in droplet growth. The clouds melt and sometimes burst resulting in precipitation of different forms. Here, different forms in the sense it may come as rains or it may come as snow, mist or fog. So, these are all the different forms of precipitation. Then, a part of water from precipitation flows over the land is called runoff. So students, you may have noticed that after the rain, the land, that is the surface, will be covered with water. So the part of water from the precipitation flows over the land and that is called runoff. Then the other part infiltrates into the soil which builds up the groundwater. So the other part infiltrate means it can penetrate into the soil and such water forms groundwater. Then hydrologic cycle is a circulation of water. First, water will get evaporated, then condensed. Again it will return as water in the form of precipitation. So it is the circulation of water. So it is a continuous process and takes place naturally. The three important phases of the hydrologic cycle are evapotranspiration, precipitation and runoff. Next, we are going to see components of hydrologic cycle. There are 6 main components in hydrologic cycle. They are, the first one is evapotranspiration, the second one is condensation, third one is precipitation, fourth one is infiltration, fifth one is percolation and the sixth one is runoff. So these are all the 6 main components in hydrologic cycle. First, let's see about evapotranspiration. Evapotranspiration means it is the total loss of water from the earth through evaporation from the surface water bodies and the transpiration from the vegetation. So, evapotranspiration means the total water evaporation from the surface of the earth as well as the transpiration from the vegetation. In cropped area, it is difficult to determine the evaporation and transpiration separately. Therefore, it is collectively called as evapotranspiration. So, what is meant by evaporation? Evaporation means the eating up, which means the conversion of water into water vapor, that is called evaporation. Transpiration means evaporation of water from the plants. So both they combined and it is termed as evapotranspiration. Next, we are going to learn about evaporation. Evaporation refers to the process in which the liquid form of water changes into gaseous form. So what is meant by evaporation? Evaporation refers to the process in which the liquid form of water changes into gaseous form. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, right? That is 212 degree Fahrenheit temperature, but it actually begins to evaporate at 0 degrees Celsius, that is 32 degree Fahrenheit, and the process takes place very slowly. Temperature is the prime element which affects the rate of evaporation. So, temperature is the prime element means temperature is the main element which affects the rate of evaporation. During the summer days, the evaporation will be very more when compared to winter days because of the heat from the sun. Aerial extent of surface water, wind and the atmospheric humidity are the other variables which affect the rate of evaporation. So temperature is the main element which affects the rate of evaporation. The other variables are aerial extent of surface water, wind, and the atmospheric humidity or the other variables which affect the rate of evaporation. Many studies reveal that the oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers provide nearly 90% of the moisture in the atmosphere through evaporation. So, many studies reveal that the oceans, seas, lakes, and rivers provide nearly 90% of the moisture in the atmosphere through evaporation. The remaining 10% is contributed by plants through transpiration. Evaporation. The amount of water gets evaporated is about the same as the amount of water delivered to earth as precipitation. So, the evaporation is equal to precipitation. The evaporation is more prevalent over the oceans than precipitation. So, over the oceans, the evaporation is more when compared to precipitation over the water bodies such as oceans and seas, while over the land, precipitation routinely exceeds evaporation. So, over the oceans, the evaporation is more because of the water content, whereas over the land, precipitation routinely exceeds evaporation. So students, I hope you are clear. Over the oceans, the evaporation will be more, whereas over the land, the precipitation will be more. The rate of evaporation is low during the periods of calm winds than during windy times, which means during the summer time, the rate of evaporation will be very more because of the heat from the sun, whereas during the winter time, the rate of evaporation will be very slow. The rate of evaporation increases with first one is wind speed. If the wind speed is high, the rate of evaporation will also increase. The second one is temperature. Third one is humidity. Humidity means it is the moisture content in the air. And the fourth one is aerial extent of surface water bodies. So, the rate of evaporation increases with wind speed, temperature, humidity, and aerial extent of surface water bodies. Next, we are going to learn about transpiration. Transpiration refers to the process by which the water content in the plants are released into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. So, what is meant by transpiration? Transpiration refers to the process by which the water content in the plants are released into the atmosphere in the form of water vapor. Then, the rate of transpiration is also affected by the temperature, wind, and humidity. The soil water content and the ability of the soil to conduct water to the roots, the nature of the plant parts, including barks and leaves, also determine the transpiration rate. So, the transpiration rate also depends on the soil water content and the ability of the soil to conduct water to the roots, the nature of the plant parts including barks and Leaves of the plant. I have enclosed the classwork instructions in the PDF. Kindly refer it. So now we have reached the end of this session. Thank you.